But normally when I do chill scopes, I don't allow business questions, but I'm going to allow business questions tonight because I just really, I'm in a point in my life, and I always can feel this because I've been here so many times. Thank you for dropping that for me, Charles, of transition. Oh, let me introduce myself. If y'all don't know who I am, my name is Ashley Ann. Hey, y'all, hey. If you are new, please tell me your name and where you're from so that I can say hello to you. Y'all tell me your name and where you're from, and I can properly greet you, me and the other kingdom members. But I teach people how to make money. Specifically, pretty much I create targeted audiences and convert them. So I help people with CBO, product creation, pricing. I teach Facebook ads, Instagram, live streaming. Thank you so much. I teach live streaming, and I teach like LinkedIn. I teach conversion, sale funnels, stuff like that. So that's what I do Monday through Thursday at 11:05. Hey, Steph from London. Very good to see you, love. Thank you for joining me. Hey, his wife. What's going on, love? So um, content is officially about to begin. All right. So if you want to take notes, grab your pens, grab your papers, grab your tablets, grab your recording devices. Now is the time to share on Facebook, share on Twitter, invite your other paid family members. Hi, Felicia from Chicago. Oh, you're beginning in event design and you're a cake decorator. Congratulations, girl. Congratulations. Not new, but never got a chance to get my shout out. Hey, what's going on? Created by Creations from South Haven, Mississippi. I'm sorry that I missed it. Jocelyn, thanks for inviting followers. B. Glam, thanks for sharing on Twitter. So anyway, Moya, thanks for inviting followers. So outside of me teaching people how to make money, blink blink, thank you. And I need to post. I need to post my updated numbers for this month. It's like 295 and some change. 295 and some change. I was like, dang. I was like, I was killing it and that's just on the digital product side. Um, Normally, because my event design company was the first thing I opened. So that's an outstanding month for me, like just on the digital product side, like it's crazy. So yeah. Hey, switching up styles. Thanks for sharing on Twitter. So if y'all are wondering why you should listen to me, you don't have to, but I have 352 clients so far that I've helped create 6 and 7 figure incomes for. I've helped almost 4,600 people. Thank you, Brittany GK, generate revenue with their social media, and hopefully I can help you too. I have over 300 clients who do in between $8,000 and $12,000 per month from live streaming. I have another 227 people on Periscope who are making in between $2,000 and $5,000 per month that I've helped create that for. I have another 50 who are my rock stars. They do in between $10,000 and $30,000 a month. So I'm really good at what I do. Really, really good at what I do. And yeah, I help a lot of people who are startups. I help a lot of people. I help a lot of large corporations too. Hey, Jackie. I help a ton of people who have been in business, like with brick and mortar, and or if you've been in business online, and you just haven't been able to figure out how to make consistent revenue through the internet, with your social media or even offline. I help people do that. So I have a BA in finance and I have a master's degree for people that care. Let me preface this by saying just because you have degrees, that doesn't mean you're qualified. And just because you have degrees, it doesn't mean you're smart. Because I know a lot of people who have degrees and they're idiots. Hey, Chosen. Hey, Hair by Rayshawn, what's going on? So I always like to put that out there because I know sometimes if you don't have a certification or a degree, Gina is your neighbor. What's going on, Gina? Gina smile so me. What's going on, Courtney? Hey, love. So sometimes people will try and disqualify themselves, okay, because of that. And something else is very strange, and I'm going to respond to this because somebody felt compelled to send me a DM today. I have a post that popped up on the Shade Room at about 6:40 something today, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're really intelligent, but I don't understand what being fat, would have to do with not chasing your dreams." And I was just calling out things that hinder people, right? So we're going to talk about that because I know a lot of y'all like keep it funky with me. Let's keep it funky. Let's take a survey. And if you don't want to bring attention to yourself, you don't have to answer me. But if you're not ashamed of it, how many of y'all are afraid to get on the side of the camera that I'm on, or you're afraid you're letting your physical appearance hold you back? Because a lot of people do. They go, "Oh, I need to lose weight before I get in the public eye because y'all know that the internet is so mean, or I'm too dark, or my teeth are messed up. I need to get them fixed, or I have problems with my skin, or I don't like the way my hair looks." Let's see, LaToya said, "I used to, but not anymore. Look at all the me's." See, and so people don't understand. This one said, "I understand my audience." People don't get it, so they were like. What? They were like, what does that have to do with anything? And I'm like, there's a lot of people who don't go out and live their life because you're so afraid of how harshly people are going to judge you, and because you feel uncomfortable inside of your skin. And I know that it scares y'all. Shout out to everybody who went on the Shade Rooms post and gave me props and showed me love. I appreciate that so much. But I know a lot of you guys, whenever y'all see the hate that I get like that, and people attacking my appearance and my hair and stuff like that, I know it freaks y'all out. I know it freaks some of y'all out, and it makes you want to draw away from putting yourself out there. But you really got to realize that there's only it's not even 2%. It's like 1.94% of people who are haters and insecure and crazy and make those types of comments, and try and tear down people for sport. I promise there's way more people who support you and who are going to buy your products and follow you and subscribe and become, share your business and all those sorts of types of things. There are way more people that are going to be into you than those noisy people. And this is the thing, the people that are that noisy, they're not your clients anyway. They were never going to buy anything from you. They were never going to support you. That was never going to happen. And it's because they are so insecure in themselves, and they also have very limited brain capacity. I'm going to keep it funky. The culture is confused because I'm going to spend more time talking about this tomorrow night, but my hair always seems to be an issue with people. And people always like to say, "Oh, I can't pay attention to what you're saying because your hair is distracting me." Well, if my hair is first of all, if my hair is distracting you, you have a very small brain. You should be able to get past my hair, right? But these are also the same people, if y'all recall, after Gabby Douglas won all those gold medals, they were going crazy. They were going in on her about her hair. I don't know if y'all remember, right? I don't know if y'all remember that. And it blew my mind that us as a culture, okay, and I'm talking about African American women right now, especially African American women were the worst, would not acknowledge the work and the years of dedication and consistency and practice, and what a humongous thing this was that this girl had accomplished to be focused on her hair and her edges. Because you feel so small and so insignificant about yourself, you have to immediately lash out and try and critique and tear somebody else apart, right? And I know that's what it is. That's why I don't respond to it. And so I want y'all to understand, you can't let that stop you, because those people, they're not your client base anyway. They're not your customers anyway. And and some people may say, "Oh, you're getting too deep," but the truth of the matter, what it really is they have issues, okay? They have their own issues, and they're very insecure, because anytime you feel the need to lash out and attack somebody and tear them down and be negative in that way, it's because you really don't like yourself. It's because you're frustrated with where you are in your life. It's because you feel like you have a lack of control. It's because you feel like a loser. If we keeping it funky, but nobody likes to speak on it because there's so many people suffering from it. And inside of our culture, this is deeply rooted because we were conditioned, and it's in our DNA to hate ourselves. Right? We got royalty in our DNA, and we have power in our DNA, and we have creativity in our DNA, and we have amazing mental capacity inside of our DNA, but that's also in there. And they've scientifically proven that memories can be passed down through DNA. And so, but because of the way that African American people were brought to this country, right? And made to hate ourselves, and made to feel like someone else was superior to us because they were lighter skinned or because they were pale skinned, right? There's a lot of us that feel like you have to have somebody else to justify you, somebody else to validate you, right? And if you see another person who looks like you that's out here killing it or out there doing well, you immediately want to tear them down, and you feel like they're less than, or you feel like they're not as smart, or you feel like they're not as strong. So So I'm just keeping it real funky tonight, and sometimes that causes a lot of hate, and sometimes that causes a lot of nasty stuff, and sometimes that causes a lot of derogatory stuff. But I just want y'all to understand, empty wagons make the most noise. Think about it. When a wagon is full and you're pulling it, you don't hear it squeaking, right? The only time that wagon makes noise is when it's empty. So they're empty vessels, okay? And they're making a lot of noise, but I promise you, there are so many more people. They're silent because they have the mindset that you have. So they don't feel the need to comment. And they also understand you can't rationalize with a person that has that perception and that mindset that those people have. And so you can't pay attention to those people. And so I meet so one of you guys, I meet so many of you guys, I meet so many of y'all who are really afraid to step out and live your life. But I just want y'all to understand this. Hate is gonna come. Unsupport is gonna come. Um, it is gonna happen. Derogatory comments are gonna happen. Okay. And I keep it funky with you because of the internet and because of social media. There are a lot of Twitter thugs out here, right? And there are a lot of people, they're real bold behind the keyboard. And if they ever saw you in their face, they never say a word to you. But the internet really shows a lot of people for their meanness and the miserableness that they're in. Oh, thank you, Keto. Thank you. Right. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's not gonna come. I need to keep it funky with you because a lot of us in the entrepreneurship world, and there's nothing wrong. We're focused on working and staying motivated and getting them coins, and we're teaching skills, and that's what we focus on. And I think sometimes we forget to prepare y'all, especially those of you who are new to starting your own business. Or let me keep it real with y'all. Some of y'all have been in business for a minute and you haven't popped off yet, but this is your year and you're about to come up and you're experiencing success. You're going to get a whole lot of people that feel some type of way about you now, because at the end of the day, they're jealous, right? Or they were so used to you not doing better than them. Once you get to a certain level and you're on the level with them, or you rise above them, all of a sudden they're going to have a problem with you. And so that's really what I want to talk about tonight, because that's a part of success. Okay, it's going to happen. I'm not finna sugarcoat this. I'm not finna tell y'all that it may not happen. It's going to happen. Okay, this is going to happen, and you need to be prepared for it, and you need to be able to recognize it, and you need to know how to deal with it. Because there are some people who cannot deal with your success, but it's not your job to humble yourself or to dim your light. They need to get a pair of sunglasses. Okay? And that ain't got nothing to do with you. And I don't want any of y'all to internalize it. I've been in business for a little over 11 years now. Okay? Yeah, even family. Even family. And just because somebody is related to you does not mean that they're going to support you. Just because somebody is related to you doesn't mean that they're going to be happy for you. That's just it. That's the truth, right? All of us come from different tribes, and all of us come out of different family situations. And there are some people in your family who are going to support you to the end, and there are some that are not. But you can't. I don't want y'all to get down on yourselves, because if they don't, I just want you to accept it, and I want you to acknowledge where your support is coming from, though, right? Your support may come from a group. Your support may come from a mastermind. Your support may come from your audience once you start broadcasting. Your support may come from other men and women that you meet inside of the business world, other entrepreneurs. And so they understand you, and y'all vibe and you connect, and you have people to bounce ideas from, and, somebody that can give you a motivational word or even pray for you sometimes when you need it, right? Or just send you a silly text message to help you laugh if they know that you're going through a tough time. So, I know you have an idea in your brain of where you think your support is supposed to come from, and how these people are supposed to support you, and how these individuals are supposed to support you, because a lot of us are imagining that based off of how we would treat other people and how we treated them in the past. But you have to reconcile that they are not you. right? And so they're not going to think like you. My own sister be tripping sometimes. Not my fault. Blame God for my greatness. You so silly, Latoya. It is. It's true though, right? So you got to reconcile and say, okay, it's not over here, but guess what? I got some support out there. I got some support back here. I got some support upstairs, and it may be a couple people downstairs who support me too. So I don't want y'all. Now let me clarify. You have a right to defend yourself, okay? And you should defend yourself. But I don't want y'all to get caught up in arguments and battles that distract you. Okay? Because there's a difference. Because we don't have to clap back. And y'all know I got clapbackitis stage 4. And I still don't clap back at everybody. Y'all would be amazed at the amount of negativity and people that just don't like me or want me to fail. And even at home, you know, I've kept a lot of my other business endeavors on the low for years. So there was like a handful of people who knew everything that I was doing. And some of them started to travel and they started to go out and they would come back home and they would say, they were like, why? They would ask me because they would go meet somebody and somebody in New York would say, do you know Ashley Ann? Or somebody in Houston would say, do you know Ashley Ann? Or somebody in California would say, do you know Ashley Ann? And they would be amazed and they would come back home and they would be like, what? How do all these people know you outside of Arkansas? You know, they'd be like, what's going on, right? Because I work in silence. And I remember even before I opened up my store inside of Arkansas and even before I opened up an office inside of Dallas, I was very quiet. A lot of people thought I just popped up with it, but I had been working on it for years, right? So I work in silence because I don't really want to give anybody the opportunity to come and throw salt on my situation, right? To come and throw a wrench in it, right? I ain't got that. The people who need to know. And I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna hustle, right? I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna hustle. And I'm gonna do what I need to do. And when it's time for you to know, you'll see when I hit the stage the same way everybody else does. So, but as more and more people start to find out about your success, you have a lot of people that get envious. You have a lot of people that feel some type of way. There are people that literally, they'll say, well, why you? You know, and I've watched this not even with myself, with other people that are blowing up. And they're saying, why them? Why they get to be on the news? Why are they on TV? Why are they in a book with this person? Why are they going to this conference? Why they get pulled up on stage? Why are they going on tour? Why them and not me? Not realizing how much work you've been putting in and how much you've been praying and how much you've been building and how much you've been working in the back end. And I just want y'all to understand this. Yes, the love is real and yes, the support is real, but the hate is also real. And there are people who will purposely try and sabotage you. There are people who will try and reach out to the people that you're building networks with and trash you and defame your name and slander you, okay? There are people who you know right now, if they knew about one of the deals that you had going on, they would purposely try and reach out, right? And flatten their tire. Like this is real talk. And a lot of us, every person who is successful, I promise, if you talk to us, we can tell you we've experienced some of these same things. And a lot of times we just don't talk to y'all about it. It's because I definitely believe you find what you focus on. And, you know, I'm always trying to emit positive energy, but at the same time, you gotta keep it funky, right? There's still stuff going on in the world. Just because I'm a positive person, it doesn't mean that negativity isn't gonna be hurled at me, right? Does that make sense? Just because we're positive doesn't mean that negativity is not going to be hurled at us in different instances. And so when it's time to defend yourself, that's fine. But we're not going to clap back at gnats, okay? We're not going to be out here throwing punches every 5 minutes, because if I'm always throwing punches and I'm always kicking, I can't climb my ladder of success that I'm supposed to move up to. So when you defend yourself, typically with me, I normally don't say anything unless it's against my work or my company. Okay? If it's against my company and my work and those sorts of types of things, I'll say something. That's when I'll say something back, because you're not going to defame my company or lie on my company or put, slander out there. That ain't going on. And whenever I do that, I typically try not to say anything about the other person. I will state facts about the situation and what happened, or the follow up, or our policies, or our order. So you are allowed to clear your name, but when you clear your name, you focus on your company and you focus on your products. Okay, you focus on your company, focus on your products, you focus on your services, you focus on the issue. They want to try and bait you to get you to come back at them. Because once you do that, now they've sucked you down in there, right? Do you meditate or have special practices to help you not feed into negative? Oh yeah, I meditate. I'm a firm believer in affirmations too. I definitely read my word, and I have I have my incantations. There's so many good people out there. It's difficult for some trying to bring you down. Yeah, there are always people that are trying to bring you down. But meditation definitely does help keep me in a good space. At what point in your career did you feel you were truly successful? Oh, that's a good question. Um, I think it was probably when I got my first national award, was when I really felt successful, when I got some national recognition. And I was surprised that that they knew about me or knew that I existed. That's when I felt like, okay, I'm starting to make it. I'm starting to make a name for myself. That probably, so I would say maybe 4.5, 5 years in, 4.5, 5 years in, and I was on that was when it had been at least a full year that I was able to take care of myself from the income I was making from my business. Because y'all know what I'm saying. When you start a business, sometimes, sometimes you're eating birds, and sometimes you're eating chicken, and sometimes you're eating feathers. So, I didn't have consistent months of income. Like, it took me a few years to figure out how to level that out. Like, all the stuff that I teach y'all, there wasn't anybody to teach this to me. And y'all remember when social media came out, a lot of people thought it was going to be a fad. They wrote it off. And so there were not all these classes and books and conferences and schools and boot camps and teachers like there. And they're definitely, live streaming didn't really become available to everyone until recently. Like, this, it's just only been a couple of years, right, that we've had this capability that anybody can just live stream from anywhere. So all of this information wasn't there. So a lot of my stuff was trial and error. It was trial and error. And when I actually got to the point, all of the business bills, all the business expenses were covered, and I wasn't sweating it or, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And my actual living expenses, I keep a roof over my head and buy groceries and pay my car notes and stuff and everything on a regular basis. And I didn't have to work a side hustle. I didn't have to take some random client I didn't want to take. And I started getting my awards and my recognition. And, by then I was showing up all over our local news stations and stuff like that. That's probably when I started to really feel like, okay, I did it, and I didn't feel like I could relax then, but I felt like, I did it. But I knew it wasn't my end, because I've always wanted to be outside of where I'm from. And that didn't really start happening for me until about maybe 3.5 years ago. Of really being able to lay down the foundation. And there are all these tremendous opportunities that God has blessed me with now, which is crazy. And I'm starting to go into, because I've transitioned so many times throughout this process. I know what it feels like when I'm going through it. And it's a weird feeling, and I know I'm transitioning again into another level, and it's exciting. And I can also tell, because like God is getting me ready to be able to deal with so many more people, coming for me and inquiring about me and researching and trying to dig up stuff on me, because people around me that are local here, right? I don't want to call them what I want to call them because it's a Sunday. And I'm going to respect the fact that it's a Sunday. But what I want to call them, there's so many local people who are starting to be like, dang, like she really coming up. And how does she know this person? And how does she know that person? And how did she get this opportunity? And why is she in this book? And why is she on this radio station now? And why is she at this conference? And who does she think she is? Why are all these people want to speak to her? Or, get autographs with her and have to like it. So they're starting to recognize things that I've been doing behind the scenes. Like it's to the point it's no longer really behind the scenes at this point, right? And so then you start to get all of that other stuff, right? And all of those other people that feel some type of way about you because I've been able to carve out a little roadmap for myself and do something that a lot of people here are not able to do. And I know, right now, as much as God has blessed me, I know this sounds crazy, but I know that this is my beginning. I know it's a whole lot more for me. And I don't believe it's a long way. I don't believe it's a long way away because I can feel that I'm so close to some of the major things that I literally have been working for the past 11 years of my life. And so because of that, right? There's all this extra stuff that's coming, trying to distract me, trying to throw me off my path, but it's not phasing me because God did a good job of getting me ready. So I'm able to recognize it and I know what it is. So when you have people that are attacking you that way or trying to make you feel less than or, feel bad about yourself or even questioning yourself, just trying to put that energy down and trying to put something on you, you know what I'm saying, that really is not supposed to be there. You have to know what it is so you can keep pushing and not pay any attention to it. So there was like 5 or 6 of you guys that inboxed me tonight. Shout out to y'all. Y'all DM me on Instagram. Because some of y'all saw, thank you so much. Some of y'all saw the Shade Room post and it upset y'all. And last time a lot of y'all got upset about it. But I just want y'all to know whenever you make a positive comment back towards me, I appreciate it. That's enough to, slow that stuff down. And I don't want y'all to lose sleep about it. And somebody asked me, they said, I don't understand how you can deal with this and it's not upsetting you. But it's again because I understand the mentality of those types of people who are being negative in that capacity, right? Those are the same people who sit on the sidelines and they criticize everybody's life. Oh, girl, it's always a debate, and I know, and I'm not saying this to be conceited. And if somebody takes it that way, they take it that way, but it's not. There's always a handful of women who like to come and attack me because of my appearance. They like to, and it's always about my hair. It's always about my hair. I can't concentrate on what she's saying because her hair is a distraction. It's too hot for that. It's a wig. It's a wig. So then there's always a debate between if it's my hair or if it's a wig, right? Then it's always a debate, right? And then there's all these people, oh, I got that wig, right? Yeah, I have that wig. This is what wig and this is what company it is, right? Then you got other people who've actually seen my hair, touched my hair, felt my hair, and they've been like, that's us, right? Then you got all of the people, but this is my thing. It doesn't matter if it's a wig or not. Then there's a lot of them. She always doing the most with her hair. I can't with her, right? I'm not gonna press, just all kinds of negative comments, and it bothers the members of my audience. So I'm just telling y'all that is a part of success, and I'm not gonna back off of it because y'all need to know. Because as y'all start to grow, as y'all start to get more acclaim, as you start to build a bigger audience, as you start, there are going to be people who are going to critique you, right? Or people, what's their favorite thing to say? I look like Wendy Williams. I look like a fat version of this person or that person. Or they want to say that I'm a transgender, and they will say, oh, she looks, they'll start calling out different famous transgender women, saying that I look like them. It doesn't bother me because those women are beautiful. I know who I am. I know I'm a woman. I know I'm not a trans. And shout out to the transgender community. Ain't no problem with that, right? But trying to attack. Yeah, it's all the time. I haven't done anything to those people. They don't know anything about me. But it's so easy if you're insecure in yourself and you have a very small brain capacity. It's really easy to attack another person and tear them down. It's really easy to troll, and I don't take it personally because I sit there and I watch. Those are the same type of people. They troll people all over the internet all day long, right? They troll people all day long. They troll other people. They troll celebrities. They troll athletes. They troll people who are out here trying to live their lives and make something of themselves. They troll public figures in the community. That's all they do is sit and hurl negativity and nasty comments and jump on the bandwagon and try and defame and hurt other people. Is always something nasty to say. And I just know and I haven't been on the planet that long, but the time I've been on the planet, I know that anybody that feels the need to be that negative towards somebody that they don't know and they don't know anything about, I know that there's something in the inside that's wrong with them, and they're very insecure, and they have a lot of things going on in their lives that are not the way that they want them to be. Because those of us who are out here living the way that we want to live, doing what we want to do, making a difference in life, getting these coins, being happy every day, you will notice we don't do that because we don't have time to do it. Right? We don't have time to do it. And so this is the thing though. I just need y'all to understand this because it's going to happen to you as you get more successful. I don't know one person who has experienced a level of success who has not had this happen. Right? It's good. That's right. They talk bad about Jesus. Okay. And he came to save the world. I don't know one person who is successful or who is great who has not experienced this. And so I need y'all to be prepared because I don't want y'all to be distracted, and I don't want you to be discouraged, and I don't want people not supporting you or being hateful towards you cause you to be silent and cause you to stop moving and cause you to deter, right? Deter your business. How do you handle jealous friends? A jealous friend really ain't a friend, and you need to get rid of them. And I don't care how long you've been friends, because a jealous friend will hurt you. Their jealousy will overcome them. A jealous friend is not really a friend. Okay? I don't care if you've known them for I don't care if you've known them for a decade. I don't care if you've known them for a century. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. I've experienced that in my life. And I think sometimes we struggle with this because it's like, I'm going to say one thought, I'm going to say something else, okay? We struggle with this because sometimes we feel like because we've known someone for a long period of years that they're our friends, okay? They're not your friends. That's just someone you've known for a long time. Also, you mature and you grow and you develop, okay? And sometimes people grow together and sometimes people grow apart. And then there's going to be a moment where you're going somewhere in your life, and in order for you to fly, you're going to have to drop the weight. And some of the people that you've been hanging out with, and some of the people that you have known, and some of the people that you thought were your friends, they're not, because their perception is still down here. Okay? And when you get ready to transition up here, you cannot surround yourself with people who still have a perception down here. There are going to be some people, they're going to be down with what you're doing, and it's not a lot. And they're going to want to know how to do more of it, and y'all will rise together. Okay? And it's going to be very few. Those people who still have the perception that's down here, when you move up here and you try and invite them to things or pull them in, it's going to blow up in your face every single time because they don't know how to conduct themselves, right? They don't know how to take things. They can't, you know what I mean? They're not operating on the same level. And then sometimes because they're so envious and so jealous of whatever you have going on, they will try and destroy you in front of your face. It will overcome. I see it happen all of the time. And I thank God that anybody that's been that way, I've always prayed for him to give me discernment and to cut those people out of my life. And if I couldn't see make it so they wanted to leave me, whatever it was. And I thank God he's always allowed them to show themselves, right? Which is a blessing before you get to where you want to go. I would much rather, let's say I'm building like a little Jenga tower, right? I would much rather somebody destroy my tower when I'm only 2 or 3 levels in versus somebody destroying my tower when I built it up to 45 levels, right? I spent a whole lot more time to get to level 45. It took a whole lot more effort to get to level 45. It took a whole lot more resources to get to level 45 than it did to get to level 2. So level 2 may hurt, right? But it's not as far as the fall, and it's a lot easier and a lot faster to rebuild because you already know the path because you've already done it, and it's not that much to rebuild. So if it's this much to rebuild, that even though it sucks, it is much better than it being this much to rebuild, right? So, when you start to grow, you're going to notice sometimes you're going to go through periods of isolation. Okay. Um, and I think this is why a lot of people that are really, really successful, what's that old quote that says lonely at the top? I don't think it's lonely. Your circle definitely is way, way smaller. But then there are some times that you have to think. There are some times you have to put in extraordinary amounts of work. There are times that there are times that you've got to get your mind together. There are times you got to reconcile who you are and where you've been and where you are right now and where you're going. Okay. And it does require periods of isolation. Okay. And everybody is not meant to go where you're going. Point blank, period, the end of discussion. Okay. It just is what it is. And we can't take everyone where we want to go. And at the end of the day, a lot of those people who you would give and do anything for, they will not give and do anything for you, right? There are some people, it's not that they can't help you. There are some of them, they won't help you. I always think about MC Hammer, right? Because he's a very generous person. He was a very generous man. And he was a person, he transitioned up here, and he tried to take all those people with him up there. And there's a bunch of users and a bunch of leeches and a bunch of people who didn't have the proper code of conduct, right? And a lot of unnecessary situations and drama that popped off in his life. And when the crap hit the fan, all of those people that he had helped and supported and brought up, where were they at? Right? And he's not the only person. That's been a story since the beginning of time, right? There's been a common thread. So you have to realize you are not Jesus and you're not obligated to save them, okay? In real life, okay? You ain't Jesus. You're not obligated to save anybody, right? And if God directs you to do something, you do what he directed you to do, and then you're released. You move on. And if somebody wants more, well, you tell them to go to Jesus and pray, and you better call on the Lord and ask him what to do in real life. Because if you can't you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you allow people to drain you, they will drain you and drain you and drain you and drain you, and they will suck you dry. And the minute that there's nothing left to get, they will move right on to the next person. They're not going to try and help you repair. They're not going to try and help you refill. They're not going to try and assist you in any way. They're going to move right on to the next one. Okay? Hey, Dupe, what's going on? Girl, I'm just talking about in general, right? Right? It doesn't like that, so you got to protect yourself from that. You can't let somebody empty you all the way out. Because if there's nobody there, right, to fill you back up, then that means you got to be able to recharge yourself up. But if you empty, you can't. You have nothing. If you have nothing, that means there's nothing for you to create more with. Let's see. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so I just want y'all to understand that it's a part of the game. And all of it is preparation, okay? And you cannot allow the negativity or the unwarranted critiques to stop you from doing whatever it is you want to do, because they're going to come. And sometimes people who are related to you, and sometimes people who grew up with you, and sometimes people who knew you from way back when, right? They have a really difficult time accepting you when you change and you grow. And don't let people make you feel bad about changing. People, oh, you to change. Oh, you changed. Oh, you think you're different. Dang right I changed. I'm supposed to change. If I'm not changing, that means I'm not growing. If I'm not growing, that means I'm not evolving, right? And when we don't grow, we die. Like literally, there's no stagnant. Either you're growing or you're dying. Literally, either you're growing or you're dying. Even whenever you look at us as humans physiologically, there's a point in your life you go where you grow, and you hit the other side and you start to die. Okay? So we're supposed to change. No one is supposed to be the same. You're supposed to grow, and you're supposed to learn, and you're supposed to be evolving constantly. We're supposed to be becoming a better version of ourselves. And you should know how to handle situations differently. You should know how to handle people differently. You should know how to handle yourself differently. You should be able to control your emotions better, right? You should be able to recognize opportunities sooner. You should have a greater discernment from things that you've been through in the past. You should be stronger. You should have more faith. You should have more patience. All of these things happen as a part of maturity, and they're supposed to happen. And that perception and that mindset is supposed to change. And people go, oh, you changed. Dang right. You shouldn't have the same mindset when you're 26 as you did when you were 16. You shouldn't have the same mindset when you're 30 as you did when you were 29 or 21. And people try to make it seem like it's a negative thing. Oh, you changed. You dang right I changed. Why haven't you changed? Something is wrong with you that you haven't had any growth and you've remained the same. And so sometimes when we are evolving into better versions of ourselves, people in our past, either they refuse to recognize that you're a different person, right? And they want to hold you to those old standards, or they get mad at you because you've changed. So that's another reason sometimes you have to separate from that crew or from those people that you always started with, right? That's I'm just keeping it funky with y'all. It's, and ask anyone who is successful, they will tell you there are very few people that they were able to keep with them or take with them from whenever they started. It's a natural progression. It happens, and you are going to weigh yourself down trying to hold on to things and people you ain't got no business holding on to. Let that stuff go. There's only so much you can carry, right? There's only so much that you can carry. And it's unavoidable. And I'm not speaking doom and gloom. This is truth. And it's supposed to happen that way. It's going to happen that way. So I just want y'all to be prepared so whenever it starts to happen, you can recognize it and you know what it is. And if you're already here, don't feel down on yourself. This is a natural progression, right? It's a natural progression. It's what's supposed to be happening. I'd rather have luggage, not baggage. Come on now. That's a word. I like that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, my worldwide tour. Thank you, love, right? So we gotta get there, right? And understand too, y'all, you can't make everybody happy. Okay? I always think about Oprah. Like, as wonderful as I think Oprah Winfrey is, and I think Oprah is amazing, There's still people who can't stand Oprah, right? There are people on the planet Earth, you even think, who can't stand Oprah? There's a whole bunch of people that can't stand Oprah. They hate her. They hate Oprah. As wonderful as she does, as many wonderful things that she does for people, right? They still got a problem with her. Like, you like, dang, you like, you hate Oprah, right? They always have something negative to say. Or I remember when I was growing up, because I've never thought that Oprah was an ugly woman, but I remember people always, critiquing her appearance. It stopped eventually because I guess they saw that she didn't care and she's going to do what she wanted to do. But critiquing her appearance, making fun of her weight, or saying she was ugly, or, you know what I mean? Just, yeah, for a long time. So I'm like, you want to critique this woman's weight, and you rather do that instead of focus on the thousands of lives she's saving, or the hundreds of girls she sends to school, or the neighborhoods or the homes that she rebuilds, right? Or the freedom, the emotional freedom that she gives to people, right? Exactly. That's what we want to focus on. We want to be obsessed with her hair and with her weight, right? So I'm just telling y'all, it happens, and you cannot let it stop you. And those people who feel that way, they are operating on a lower level. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be rude. It is what it is. They haven't evolved to a higher place, and they're operating on a lower vibration. And that's the reason that they act that way. That's the reason that they think that way. And it's a waste of your time trying to clap back at them or combat them, because it's not going to get you anywhere at all. Okay? We don't care. They're not doing anything because it's not your support or your base or your system. And I think probably the person that he said that eat hot Cheetos for breakfast. You're so silly. And I always think about Steve Harvey. Y'all know Steve Harvey is shining right now. But man, there's a lot of people that don't like Steve Harvey. There's a lot of people that don't like Steve Harvey. They hate him. They hate his book. I hate think like a man, act like a lady, right? I hate that. That book is garbage. Blah 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 blah. Even before the memo, Queen Victoria, this is before the memo. They were mad that he got a show, right? Rachel, it's a lot of people that don't like Steve Harvey. A lot of people that don't like Steve Harvey. A lot of people that don't like how he gonna give relationship advice? He been married 3 times. Want. His mustache got his own zip code. Want. I mean, they just go in and in and in, and I like him. And I love him. I'm happy, right? They say I didn't care for him long before he came up. I know, there's a lot of people that don't care for him, right? But this is the thing. Even though you don't care for him and all these other people don't care for him, and I'm glad you said that because this is proving my point. That ain't stopping his success. That didn't stop nothing that God had for him. And he is killing it. I don't care who knew him in his past, right? Because y'all know let's keep it funky. There are some people that know him in a different way. There are some people that know him from his past. And he even talks about his past and how he used to be and what he was doing and things he was unaware of and how he was living. So there are several people that have had several encounters of him from his past, and they don't want to let go of who he was 10 years, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right? They don't want to let go of who they knew him as 40 years ago, and they're still trying to hold him to that same person. And obviously, he has changed. Obviously, he has evolved, right? Obviously, he got smarter. Obviously, he learned the game. Obviously, he learned how to put himself in the right place. Obviously, he learned how to take care of opportunity, right? Take advantage of opportunity, right? And I'm not saying that he's perfect and he didn't make mistakes, but obviously this is a man who has evolved and he has learned things from his mistakes and he's been able to grow. And that has a lot to do with why he is successful as he is right now, even with all of them people that don't like him, even with all of the people that have to make fun of him, even with all of the people that talk about him, even with all of the people that say his books are trash and garbage and he's trash and he's garbage and he's this and he's that. But he still got that radio show, and he'd had that radio show forever, right? He was still a king of comedy, and he did that forever. Then he turned around, and he got Family Feud, and he got a talk show, and he got little big shots, and he hosted Showtime at the Apollo, right? What's that, 6, 7 jobs I just named? He out there. He out there still. And there are all these people who constantly try and tear this man down. Constantly have crazy things to say about him. Even his wife and his marriage and his kids, right? Constantly coming for him and how he dresses and what he looks like. Constantly, I remember when he was this and he was that. Constantly, he treated his wife like this and like that, and I hope bones come through his ass and all this other kind of stuff. Constantly. But do you think any of their negative critiques and thoughts and what they have to say about him has stopped this man from getting what he's supposed to have? That's something my papa used to say. Brittany GK. My papa used to say, this old country stuff, right? But it ain't stopped nothing. And that's what I'm telling y'all. See, look, he should dress like he got 12 jobs. But okay, Jay, for real, let me ask you this, because people love saying this, because the people on the internet, they like to come for me about my hair all the time and say, oh, if you got this much money, you shouldn't have synthetic hair in your head, right? But it'd be crazy because it don't even be a weave when they be attacking me saying that I got a weave or a wig, which is nuts. But that's a whole nother thing. Or they say, oh, you don't look like you got money. Let me tell you this about living up to these small expectations. Okay. Let me tell you about these small expectations. I'm always amazed how people who don't have money, how people that don't have 12 jobs, how people that don't have multiple streams of income want to tell you how a person who does have money and does have multiple streams of income and is out here hustling with all these jobs, you want to tell us how we're supposed to be. Right? Y'all want to tell us how our hair is supposed to be. You want to tell me that I'm supposed to be in some red bottoms. You want to tell me that I should be driving a Bentley and I should be living in a bigger house. But that's the thing. That's why you broke, because you got poor person's mentality. Now, I'm not talking about you specifically. Okay, I'm talking about these people in general. Okay, I'm talking about these people in general. Obviously, right? And this is why I don't want y'all to get shook up. Okay, this is why I don't want y'all to get shook, because there are going to be people telling you, trying to dictate to you what you should be doing and what you should look like and what you should dress like. But these are people who are unsuccessful, so they really don't know, right? And there's a broke. Let's talk about our culture for a minute, okay? I'm finna keep it real funky with you. Let's talk about our culture, okay? I typically don't like to say the N word, and I've been working real hard to take it out of my vocabulary. But I want y'all to excuse this because I'm about to drop it, okay? Because I got to keep it real with y'all, so I'm about to drop it. And this is not like a consistent habit of mine, saying this in public. I try not to even say it in my private life, right? Because I used to feel a different way about it, but I'll change, right? But I'm finna go and keep it real with y'all. You got a nigger rich syndrome. Niggas want to wear all their assets on their behind. Right? Niggas love to talk about how much their shoes cost, how much their clothes cost, what label they got, what label they have on, what car they driving. You driving an Escalade, but you ain't got no insurance on it. You driving an Escalade, but you still stay with your mama and your daddy. You don't own nothing. Yeah, you bad, and you got on all your MAC makeup, and you got on your Gucci belt, and you got on your red bottom shoes, and you DKNY or Prada down or whoever you wearing, right? You got your little Michael Kors bag, but your bank account in the negative. Because you want to be out here flossing because you're worried about what people think about you and what they gonna say about you. You out here trying to impress in a nice neighborhood, and your house be empty. Y'all think I don't know? I've shared this with y'all before. People that really got money, we may not have the biggest homes, right? But our homes are nice. They're well appointed. You can tell people that ain't got it. Oh, they sitting out here in the penthouse, you look in their cabinet. They ain't got no glasses. They ain't got no dishes. They ain't got decor on their walls. Okay, that's not going on. Let's keep it funky. You can look at how it's appointed. A person with money, they may not drive a luxury car, but whatever they have is going to be a car and it's going to be put together well, right? And it's going to be kept up. But there are all these people who don't have money who are trying to be out here perpetrating like they have money. And then they want to try and challenge you and say, oh, well, if you got money, you should be living like this, or you should be wearing this, or you should be doing that. But that's not how we operate. While you out here going and dropping all this money on your Escalade or your Range Rover, I looked at that note and realized, hey, I can buy some rental property with that. I looked at that note and said, there's this thing that's called there's this thing that's called compounding interest, and I can put that up in the bank every single month. And in 10 years, I can turn around and flip that. And in 20 years, and in 30 years, and by the time I retire, I have $3 or $4 million stacked up. But by the time you retire, you're gonna have to go and get a part-time job, not because you want to work for something to do, not because you want to pass your time and get out the house, because that's what older people like to do, right? Now, you got to go work at Walmart as a greeter. You got to go and get a part-time cashier job because you barely can afford to live. Because you were out here when you were my age, wanting to wear your red bottoms, wanting to drive an Escalade or a Bentley when you really couldn't afford it, right? Wanting to pick up a liability instead of taking that money and investing it and building up some assets. Because you stuck on some nigger rich stuff. And you worried about what people think about you. And in reality, it's all driven by fear because you're too afraid to be yourself and stand up in who you are. Because you're not as strong as I am to be able to handle those critiques and handle that crazy stuff that people say about me and let it keep on rolling because I know who I am. And I have a goal and I have a plan and I have somewhere I'm trying to get to. I have a vision for my life. I have a vision for my kingdom. I got a vision for my empire and what I'm building. So I can't be deterred. But because you can be deterred because you're so worried about the haters' opinions, you out here doing all kinds of wild stuff. And then you have the audacity and the nerve to come and approach people who really do have multiple streams of income, who really are out here hustling, who really are generating this revenue and trying to tell us what we should look like and what we should be doing. And trying to say, oh, you can't have money like that because you too dressed down. You can't have money like that because why your hair look like that. Look at Bill Gates and look at Mark Zuckerberg. I can't think of the dudes right now that founded Snapchat. Go look at them. Look at Serena Williams' fiance, the dude that founded Reddit, worth bukus. Okay, all of them worth bukus of money. They look nice and they're presentable, but they're not wearing all of their assets on their behind. When was the last time you seen them rolling around with 3 or 4 gold chains? Somebody tell me, when was the last time you seen them rolling around with chains? Well, okay, Warren Buffett too. When was the last time you seen them? Go look at their wives. When was the last time you seen their wives with a closet full of red bottoms? I'm keeping it funky with you. When was the last time you seen one? When was the last time you seen one of them girls walking around? One of these women that's out here killing it. I'm talking about women really making money, okay? Women really making a difference in the world. When was the last time you seen Michelle Obama walking around with a $2,000 weave? When you seen that? And I'm not saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with treating yourself. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting to splurge on yourself. But part of us, okay? Part of us that are out here doing all this stuff, we can't really afford what we're doing. And you're doing it because you're worried, because you're afraid of what people are going to say about you. And you're out here trying to impress people who at the end of the day, they're not going to support you. Okay. They're not going to be your clients. They're not going to tell anybody about you. They're not going to send you a prayer. They're not going to send you a kind word. And they still going to have something crazy to say about you. But you out here living your life for somebody else instead of living it for yourself. because you really don't have the courage to be who you are. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying if you want to go buy you a pair of red bottoms here and there, go get you a pair of red bottoms here and there. Go and do it, but don't put yourself in debt doing it. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I feel like your priorities are out of order. If you got the hottest new bags and you got on some Giuseppe Zanotti shoes, but then we go to your house and you sleeping on an air mattress. I feel like your priorities are out of order if you got $400 or $500 weave inside of your head, but you ain't got no pictures on your wall in your house. Blink, blink. I feel like your priorities are out of order when you'll go to MAC and spend $225, $265 on makeup, but then you won't turn around and spend $197 to go to a conversion course or to get a certification so that you can generate revenue for yourself, or to take a course with somebody, or to take a class, or go to a convention, or go to a conference, or pay $100 a month to get your credit cleaned up so that you can actually save more money in the long run because of the way that our economy is set up here in America. Because you feel like that's too high. But it's not too high. You have a poor valuation on yourself and your perception is jacked up and you don't really realize what's important. And you're lacking a strategic mindset. So again, you're operating on a lower vibration than what you should be. Right? And now you're out here trying to impress the haters, or either you're becoming a hater, right? Yourself. Because you want to be part of the in crowd. And this is the thing, when you're destined to be successful, you're never going to fit. When you have success on you and you have favor on you, you're never going to fit. It doesn't matter what you do. You're still not going to fit. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be different. You're supposed to stand out. You're not supposed to be like everyone else. You're not supposed to have the same perception. You're not supposed to have the same mentality. You're not supposed to be doing all of the things that everyone else does, right? And because they don't understand you, and because they're vibrating down here and you're vibrating up here, you're going to make them feel insecure, because they're going to start to feel inferior, because they're going to look at you and see all the wonderful things that you're doing, and they're going to feel some type of way about themselves and why they aren't doing those things. And so then you're going to fall into the category, you're going to start to meet people, and either you're going to intimidate them or you're going to inspire them. So if I'm secure in myself and I meet another powerful person like Marquita D. Collins, I meet another powerful person like Royal Calypso, I meet another powerful person like Joey from Egg Drop, I meet another powerful person, okay, like it's Tashina. I meet all these other powerful men and women. I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel insecure. I recognize the gifts that they have, and I be like, dang. I be like, well, that's what you got. Well, this is what I got. Let's put it together and make something happen. Let me learn from you. Because there's no desire in me to lash out and hate at you. Especially if you haven't done anything to me, especially if you haven't said anything to me, especially if you haven't been disrespectful to me in any type of way, especially if I don't know you. What reason is there for anyone to say something negative about somebody, especially their appearance, and they've never even said hi to that person? They don't know what they're about. And people do it all the time, right? Have y'all ever been out with somebody? Have y'all ever been out with somebody and everybody that walks into the restaurant or everybody that walks into the club or the room, they have something to say about them? They want to clown their hair. They want to clown their outfit. They want to clown their shoes. They want to clown their weight, right? They don't have any conversation outside of tearing down and demeaning other people. I can't stand being around people like that, right? I can't stand being around bitter people like that. And I can't stand being around insecure people like that. Because that's the first sign that they're severely unhappy with where they are in their lives. And it's also another red flag that they're operating on that lower vibration, because they don't even have, it's not messy, Brittany. They don't even have the brain capacity to create conversation. You feel me? And so to make up for that lower frequency that they're on, they want to try and distract you. And I want to tear down other people. And they don't even realize that that's what they're doing. And then if you say something about it, they want to act like you're tripping. No, you're not tripping. This is what it is. And so if you're trying to change and move to another level in your life, if you're around those people, what does Mama Louise like to say? I'm going to give you permission. Okay. Mama Louise, she said, I want to invite you. Okay. I want to invite you to walk away from those people, because like attracts like. Okay. Like attracts like. So I'm going to invite you to walk away from those people, so that you can get you some people that are on the proper level that you're supposed to be on. So you can be on the same frequency and increase your power and continue to increase in your success. Because this is how it really works. So I don't care how many CVO funnels I teach you about. I don't care how many techniques I teach you about ads. I don't care how many classes or courses you take from me. I don't care how many automations I teach you about. I don't care how often I teach you, how great I am at teaching you to price your products and your services, right? I don't care. You're always going to have a limited amount of success if that's the frequency that you're operating on. You won't get to where you're supposed to go. And you need to accept your position as a successful person. You need to accept your position as a leader. You need to accept your position, right, as someone who is meant to fly. And if you're flying, you cannot be weighed down. And if you are a person, right, and you're a hater and you're fine, and as I'm speaking, you're like, dang, I'm exhibiting some of these qualities, I just want to invite you to change. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself whenever you think that you want to say something nasty, whenever you think that you want to type something nasty about somebody. I just want you to ask yourself, why am I saying this? What's motivating me to do this? Right? And if this is someone who you literally have never had any beef with, if this is somebody that you don't know, if this is somebody that you've never had a problem with, and you feel compelled to say some negative stuff about them, right? To think something negative about them, I want you to check yourself. I really would like to challenge you to do that this week. Just spend the week. Anytime something crazy comes, why am I saying that? Why am I doing that? Why am I thinking that about that person? So that you can turn yourself around and get to the root of it and get what you're supposed to have in life. I've never met a hateful person. I've never met a person who attacks other people. I've never met a bitter person, right, who is happy. And if you're not happy, you're not successful. I don't care how much money you make, right? Because we see famous people, and we see famous people and musicians and athletes and celebrities. We see them every day with tons of money. Money is not their issue, right? And they've done great inside of their career, but they're committing suicide, or they're addicted to drugs, or they're severe alcoholics, right? And they're checking out of here because they're not happy. So if you're not happy, you're not successful. I don't care what you say. Okay? There's no, like, you can get all the money, you can get all the material things, but if you don't have joy and you don't have peace, you're not successful. You got to have it all together. You see it every day. Every freaking day we see it. Right? And people go, oh, she was so pretty, and she had this and she had that. I just don't understand. Or he was so handsome, and he had all this money, and he had this great house, and he had all these cars, and he had the women, and he was partying. I don't understand. right? And look, now I broke it down to you. The reason they were doing all of that stuff on the exterior, because they were trying to impress you haters, because they were so afraid to be who they are, right? They were so afraid to live their authentic selves because they were afraid of y'all's little Twitter fingers, okay? Because some of y'all got the Twitter fingers of death, right? Y'all like to say all kinds of. They were so afraid of people's critique and trying to live up to the expectations and the boxes of people saying, you're a star, you should be doing this. You're rich, you should be living like that. You're an African American woman, you should be doing this. You're a Caucasian man, you should be doing this. You're Asian, you supposed to be doing this. Ain't nobody got time for that. We don't care about these haters. You need to know who you are. And I'm telling y'all, because I honestly pray, and I know it sounds crazy, like Rico Starr said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, and it's true. I want all of y'all to get to the point where you got that haterade coming on, because that means that you are mad successful and you're getting where you're supposed to get to, and you're intimidating a lot of people. Right? But the beautiful thing about it is that you're inspiring so many more than you're intimidating. Understand me. The people that you inspire, remember I told y'all, empty wagons make a lot of noise. A full wagon is quiet, okay? So those people that you're inspiring, they're not going to be as vocal, okay, about their support as those haters are. Because the people that you inspire, they got lives the way you have a life. So they support you and they're like, whoop, whoop, keep going. But they got to go get back to work. They got to go take care of their family. They got to take care of their spiritual life. They got to go and meditate. They got to go and volunteer, right? They got to go and build a house. They have things that they have to do. So they can't sit around all day the way the haters can sit around all day, because the haters don't really have a life. Because if you have a life, you have no time to be in mine. Blink, blink, blink. Pick up what I'm putting down. If you have a life, you ain't got no time to be in other people's lives. Blink, blink, blink. And some people make their life about being in other people's lives because they ain't got nothing to do. Because again, you operating at a lower vibration. You're not out here doing what you're really supposed to be doing in life. You ain't out here really living in your calling or your purpose. Because if you were, there's no way that you would have time to be out here in everybody else's business. I've never in my life sat around going and stalking and chicken hawking people on social media and dropping negative comments. I've never in my life sat around calling people on the phone, gossiping about this person and that person and picking up everybody's information. I haven't. I never have. Cause I be out here, I'm too busy with my own stuff. I always have my own project. I always have a client I got to call. I always have a friend I got to catch up with. I always got my parents I want to see. I always got a new house to go and buy. I always got a place to go and travel. I always got a book that I need to read. I always got a prayer that I need to do. I always got an affirmation. I got a group, right? I always have something. I got to go to sleep because I need to rest, okay? I want to cook a pie. I don't care. I got something going on. I want to go to the gym. I have something. I have a life. And because I have a life, I only have enough time to say, girl, you the real MVP. You out here killing it. What's the link to your book? Let me buy it. Girl, you out here doing the thumb. I listened to your interview. You sounded amazing. Keep up the good work, right? Girl, I heard you've been sick. I lit a candle for you. I put you on my prayer board. I'm meditating for you and your family every single day. I'm going to check in with you later on this week, right? I don't have time to be hateful. So I need y'all to understand that about these. So yeah, you're going to get some haters. Yes, we're going to get some people that are intimidated by you. And I want you to have that. But please understand, know this, okay? Because this is the part that people don't tell you. I promise there are more people who are inspired by you, okay? There are more people who are going to support you. And the beautiful thing about that is when you meet those other people that are on that same level, and when you meet those other people who are secure and strong in who they are, that is somebody you're going to be able to learn from. That's somebody that's going to help advance you, whether you know it or whether they know it or not. It could be one thing that they say to you and it makes the light bulb pop on and changes your life. They may be the person who can give you support and consistent prayers. They may be the person who pick you up when you're feeling discouraged. They may be the person to tell you about a new tip or tool or app. They may be the bridge to connect you to somebody that you're supposed to meet that's going to change your life. Okay? They may be the person to endorse you or introduce you to a whole brand new audience or a whole brand new world. Okay? They may be the person, right, who does nothing more than becomes a listening ear for you so you have an outlet to vent and to get that stuff out. Either way, they're going to help you grow and you're going to help them grow. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And that's how you get to the next level. That's how you get to the next stratosphere. And I just need y'all to know this. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like I've done a disservice to y'all because I don't talk about these types of things enough, right? I always get in and I get right to the business and I get right to the strategy and I get right to the tools and to the funnels and all those sorts of types of things. But there's this other side that comes with success and you have to know how to manage it and you have to be aware of what's happening, because if you don't, it will take you out. If you don't, it will stop you. It will keep you from getting to all you're supposed to have in your life, because when you start getting all of this, when you start encountering all of this mudslinging and all of this negativity and all of this hate and when you start encountering all of that on a consistent basis, you're not going to know what to do with it, right? And you're not going to know what it is. So, I think anybody in general who is an entrepreneur and has a platform, and I'm not saying we should dwell on it, but I think from time to time it's important for us to share these types of things. So as y'all are growing inside of your journeys, you can deal with it and you're not blindsided by it, and it doesn't stop you or make you so afraid that you give up on your dreams, right? Or make you so afraid that you don't want to try anymore, right? Or it makes you bitter, or it turns you into a hater. So that's my spiel for tonight. Like I said, during Chill Scope, I normally don't take business questions and answers, but I will tonight. And I just really wanted to express that because there were so many of you guys that inboxed me. There were so many of y'all that inboxed me. And like I said, I appreciate the support. But a lot of y'all wanted to know. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I need to talk about it because this is real life. And every time I've ever transitioned in my life and gone to another level, I've always had all kinds of mad distractions pop off right before. Always, right? And I know what I'm going through right now. I'm transitioning into a public figure. I've been the woman behind the curtain for so many years, and I've been very happy to be in that position. But for the other things that I want to transpire in my life and some of the other things that I want, I got to come from behind the curtain, right? And so this has been a transition for me. It's different. It's different. I'm a country girl, right? I'm from the country. I'm from Scott. Nobody know me around here. Okay, we ain't got no camera crews. We don't have studios we got like the news studios, but there's not huge production firms and companies and stuff floating around here. There's not a lot of opportunity, right? Every opportunity I had, I've always had to create it, and it came from outside sources. I will say this: if it was not for the internet, no way I would have been able to build my company the way I've been able to build it. No way I would be able to pick up clients as easily as I can in other states and other countries. No way that I would have gotten as many opportunities as I did to come out to teach and to speak. No way I wouldn't have met all of these fabulous people, right? Who have all these different projects and businesses and, ideas and all this cool stuff that's going on and insight and tools and all this other stuff that I didn't even know about, right? And we can teach each other stuff. There's no way that it would have been possible. No way that it would have been possible for me to meet all of the kingdom members and be able, to build up an audience in the speed that I've been able to. Because if I was limited to my geographical location, it would happen for me. It would just take way longer. There's no way that I would get the opportunity for books, right? There's no way that I would have this amazing opportunity for the regular segment that I have with WTNT now. No way any of that would be happening. So it's double-sided though, right? So I get all of these opportunities and all of this crazy stuff, but then there's the back end, right? And so then you're transitioning into the public figure. So then you got all of these empty wagons though. But I'm very aware that I have way more, I'm very aware that there are way more full wagons on my team than there are empty wagons, right? But it's still there, and you still notice it, and it still happens, and you still got to put yourself out there. But I have to tell myself what I know is right, and I have to tell myself what is true. And whenever the enemy tries to present a lie to me, I have to call out that lie. And sometimes I have to call that lie out loud so that I can keep going. And there's nothing wrong if you have to call out that lie out loud when you recognize it and say, that's a lie. And if you have to speak against it out loud, there's nothing wrong with it. You do it. You do it and you put it in its place and you keep on moving. Because you can't allow those seeds to take root and grow. And everything in life is a transition. So this is a transition for me. Y'all, it's weird to me. It's new to me, okay? I've always been good at my job. I've always been good at my career. My clients have always been happy to see me. But this has been new for me the last year of my life. People walking up to me and asking me for interviews, right? It's new to me that I have all these books that are coming and I'm going to sign these books and send them out to people. That's new to me. It's new to me to be on all of these podcasts and all of these radio interviews, right? I've always gotten press, but it's been in a different way when it's come for, because it's come for, my events, right? I'm building up clients that way, not actually transitioning into a public figure. That's new to me, that I go to my mailbox every single day and I have all these letters and I have all these gifts and I have all this stuff from y'all that just love me and support me. That's a transition for me though. That's new for me. And with all of that love and all of those wonderful things that are coming, you got all this other stuff that's on the back end. So I've dealt with local haters, right? I've dealt with regular people, right, hating on me. I know the labs around my area, but it's so much on another level. And even when people inside of your own community that you knew before, and people that you help them build their careers and you help them build their business, and even they start to turn on you, right? And they want to ostracize you and isolate you. That's a transition, because then I had to go through a period of isolation. And I had, how do y'all think that I got so efficient with my events? Y'all know how I got so efficient in my business? Because I had to. Because it's very cliquish where I'm from in a small town. And if I didn't want to play the game, and if I didn't want to jump on the bandwagon, and if I didn't want to be two-faced, because I'm a very loyal person. So if you're talking crap about other people, I remove myself from you, because I know that means you're talking crap about me too. And I'm a very loyal person and I have a hard time with that. So if I know that I would never let anybody trash your name or talk noise about you, and I've always protected you, and I find out you do, but I find out the opposite of you is true. And when it came to me, you joined in. And when it came to me, you collaborated with that. I don't want to deal with you no more. So the reason I got so good at my job is because I had to become self-sufficient. I didn't have a choice. I did not set out saying I want to own my own warehouse full of stuff. That came because I had to be self-sufficient in order to do what I had a desire to do and what I knew I was meant on the planet Earth to do. I didn't set out saying I want to be a master flower designer. That came because I had to become that so I could do what I needed to do, because the other florists, right? Because there were two other event planners that were very threatened by me when I first started inside of my area. Okay? Now this is real talk, and I've never shared this. They were extremely threatened by me when I started, because they could see my talent. They probably saw more of my talent back then than I saw in myself. And so they worked with the distributors, the wholesalers, and the wholesalers were charging me higher rates than they would charge other people. So you know what that did? That made me mad. Okay? That made me mad. They were working with other rental companies, And instead of the rental companies referring me or telling other people about me, right? Universities calling, instead of them working against me. And this is when I was just now starting. So I had to go out and find relationships and find direct plugs with the flower farms and the flower brokers. That's how I got so good at what I did. I had to, because I got mad, right? And I'm in a small town, so I got limited resources. So I had to get creative and find out what was outside of that, and I had to pray and ask God, right? And he put me in positions so that God put me in positions so that I would be strong. He put me in the position so that I would be self-sufficient. He put me in the position so I would be creative, so I could think on my feet, and that I would be fast, and I would be able to run circles around them. But it did not feel good while I was going through it. When I was going through that transition, it did not feel good. And I had to go through a period of isolation. I don't fool with these people around here where I'm from, because God knew this was not the place that he was going to have me stay. I didn't know it back then, but I know it now. And so over the years, I've been able to build my brand and my company and expand outside of the little town that I was from. Because if I would have fallen into the fray with everyone else, let's keep it funky. If I would have fallen into the fray with everyone else, I would have got comfortable, but also I wouldn't have the tools and the skill set that I have. I wouldn't have the connections that I have outside of here. I wouldn't have the ability to travel anywhere, right? And have all of my supplies sent to me and all of my flowers sent to me and bring my skeleton crew and know how to train other people on the spot so I can make happen what has to happen. I wouldn't have all my own inventory. I wouldn't have any of that. None of that was a conscious decision on my part. I did not start off in my business saying this is what I want to do and how I want to build it. All of that came out of God putting me in position so he could give me those tools. And a lot of it came from a lot of hate and a lot of derogatory things and a lot of mean things being to me and a lot of people ostracizing me and a lot of people not supporting me. But I still knew what I was meant to do on this planet Earth. And I held fast to the vision and to the dream that God gave to me. In real life. Love you too, Marquita. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Night girl. Right? Right? I'm just keeping it funky. So sometimes you're going to go through periods of isolation, right? You're going to go through some difficult things. Hey, teach all I know. What's going on, Ruben? You're going to go through some difficult things when you're in your transition, and it's not going to feel good. But I'm telling you, because I've made it to the other side so many times, it's for your good. So right now at this point, I already know it's not happening to me. It's happening for me. Whatever is going on in your life, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. Even all of the haters, right? Even all the unwarranted critiques, even all the negative and nasty comments, even the people not supporting you, right? Even people who turn their back on you, even people that walk away from you, all of that. It is happening for you. You can't see whatever the end of the picture is right now, but I promise you, when you get to the other side and you have to pull out those tools and you have to remember those lessons, you're going to say, oh, God, thank you. I understand why I went through that now. I understand why that had to be this way. I understand what your purpose for that was. I had no idea 11 years ago when I set out, right, that I would be here where I am right now. I had no idea that it would open up so many other opportunities for me in my life. And if I would have gone down the path that was comfortable and the path that I wanted to go down, and I didn't have to experience that isolation and being ostracized to the capacity that I was, I would not have the skill set in business that I have. I wouldn't be able to teach y'all the way that I could teach y'all because there wouldn't have been a need for me to develop the skill. I'm just keeping it funky with you. I didn't know it back then, right? Because what else was going to push me to develop that skill? I did it out of necessity. Any of you guys who've ever been into any of the live trainings with me, y'all know that I've shared that with y'all. I've told y'all that I stumbled upon social media marketing. That was not a thought in my head. I'm going to become a guru at this. I was pretty much broke. I had spent all of my money on traditional marketing methods, right? What they had taught me to do, right? I was a good mass marketer, okay? And my money was real inconsistent with clients and coming in and coming out. But I had done what they had taught me to do, and it was not working for me. And I put up a Facebook post. Didn't nothing happen. I don't even think I got 10 likes on that post. I put up another one. Didn't that much happen. Put up another one. Didn't that much happen. But on the third time, somebody inboxed me. And I turned around and booked a gigantic birthday party budget for it. And that's when the light bulb went off. I said, hey, I didn't spend any money doing this. And I just booked a client. And I spent $3,600. I had literally just spent $3,600 on a print ad 2 weeks before and hadn't even gotten a phone call from that ad. Okay? So it was out of necessity because I had to figure out how to get myself out there. That's what opened up the door. That's how I got into the skill set. That's how I learned all of this. So I promise you, whatever you feel like is happening to you, it is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Okay? And you are strong. You are powerful. You got an empire to build. Okay? And when you are a king or a queen or a pharaoh, whatever you're operating in, whatever he's called you to be, whatever you are, it's a strategy, right? And when you have a territory, people are going to come to attack. Even if you look in the Bible, people were always attacking, right? Other kingdoms and other territories consistently. Always. And those who survived and those who overcame, what happened? Their kingdoms and their empires and their territories enlarged. They became bigger. They became the dominant. Their languages were the languages that won. Their teachings were the teachings that won. Their bases and foundations were the bases and foundations that everything else was built on. I'm keeping it funky with y'all because we always like to talk about on the abundant side and on the prosperity side, but there's some things that you got to go through sometimes, and everybody is going to have to experience some unpleasantry. Everybody is going to have to experience, right? Some hate. All of us are going to have to get hit in our weak spot so that we can identify that it's weak. How you think you strengthen it up? If you wasn't ever hit in it, you didn't know it was weak, right? You didn't know that there was an area that needed to be fortified in. And I would much rather you recognize that you need some fortification and that you need some reinforcement when you're in a teeny tiny battle instead of when you're in an all-out war. When you're in war, that's not the time for you to know. That's not a time for you to recognize that you got a weak spot. You feel me? You picking up what I'm putting down? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down tonight? So I just want y'all to be encouraged, okay? I just want y'all to be encouraged. I want y'all to stay with it. If you know that whatever that is that you're supposed to be doing that, if you know it's your purpose, if you know that it's greater for you in your life, if you know that there's some, it's time for you to transition into another level, if you know that you're in transition at this point in your life and you're feeling a little defeated or a little discouraged, y'all just hold on, okay? It's going to get better, and ask God, what am I supposed to learn from this, okay? Ask God how he wants you to use it, okay? That's what I want. That's what I want y'all to do so you can transition, okay, into that next level, and you can get what you're supposed to get, and you can continue to enlarge your territory, and you don't let these things take you out, okay? Side note, I just thought about it. If any of you guys are interested in Wealth Camp, in the full camp, there are like 5 seats left for the full camp. And there are day passes now. Check out Wealth Camp. It is for anybody that knows that God is telling you it's time for you to transition into another level with your finances and with your family and in the position of leadership. It is a 4-day workshop that is going to be amazing. Okay, it's intense. You can go to wealthcamp.com, not wealthcamp.com, so wealthcamp.biz. Just use that link in my bio, okay? Go to www.linktree/King Ashley. And thank you, Tashina. Use the second link in my bio and just go over there and check out the site. Check out what's happening days 1 through 4. Check out the tracks and stuff if you're interested in it, okay? And I'm telling you that it's based, because obviously y'all know I'm not a Bible thumper, okay? But I do believe in the Lord, and I think it's a disservice to y'all to try and teach people to separate their spirituality and their relationship from God from their business, because you can't. Because my continuous referrals and my continuous coins and my continuous resources and my continual thoughts and my continuous creativity and my skill set and my abilities, they come from God. My energy, y'all are always asking me, you're like, how are you doing all of this? How are you juggling all of this? It comes from God, okay? And I feel like the moment you try and take God out of your business, okay, I really feel it. And there are some people that don't agree with me, and that's cool. But the minute you try and take God out of your business, you're going to have a real hard time making it. Okay? You're going to have a real difficult time making it, because you're going to have some hurdles. You're going to have some long nights. You're going to have some long days. You're going to have some struggles, and you are going to be in some situations where you have got to call on God, and you've got to call on your angels to move their mountains for you. Real talk. And there's going to be some things that are going to work out for you that, you didn't think were going to happen if we keeping it funky, okay? And you're going to know it's nobody but God, right? And I'm mentioning this because I don't want you to get there and be in shock, okay? Because there is a portion throughout the conference. We will have amazing presenters there, and they're going to help you to recognize what you're feeling and when God is talking to you, as far as it concerns with your business and your finances, and how to tap into the power that God has given us to co-create our lives, because a lot of us don't realize that it's there. So some of us have flipped on our switch, some of us have not, and some of us don't even know where to find the switch, okay? So yeah, we're going to be talking about social media, and we're going to talk about building empires, and we're going to talk about conversions, and we're going to show you how to do funnels, and we're going to run Facebook ads, but we're also going to teach you this is how you tap into the power that God has given you. This is how you talk to God. This is how you listen to him. These are the prayers and the things you should be asking him for, so you really can get to your goals, right? And teaching you that you should not be ashamed, and that there's nothing wrong for asking for an increase in your finances. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but people will try and make you think that there's something wrong with it, right? So this is real. Like, we're really doing the full gamut of your business and generating wealth and creating wealth. And I know who my blessings come from, and I know who my source is. So I feel like it would be disrespectful for me to not acknowledge him. If you feel me. And I'm telling you guys this because some of you guys are uncomfortable, right, with God, and some of y'all don't believe in God. Shondo to you. Blink, 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 but I do. Right? I do. And so if you got problems with God, then you don't need to come to Wealth Camp. Because I don't need you over there twitching and burning and ruining the vibes for everybody. Okay? So just keeping it funky. So if you're interested in it and you know it's time for you to transition, go over there and check out Wealth Camp. See if you want to come to all 4 days. See if you just want to come to 1 or 2 days, okay? And if you want to come, bring a friend. But that's what's really going on. That's what's really going on there. Like, it's some real stuff about being a whole business owner, being a whole entrepreneur. Y'all shouldn't have to be like me. I've shared with y'all before. Remember I told y'all I was working so hard. Y'all remember I told you I was so hungry and I was working so hard. I went for over 3 years and didn't take a vacation didn't buy myself a new pair of shoes. My parents didn't know. Anytime I got shoes or anytime I got clothes or new makeup and stuff, it was coming from them. When they were buying me stuff for my birthday and for Christmas. That's how hard, but that's ridiculous. There's no if I knew back then what I know now, and my ladies who went through the 21-day manifestation challenge, I shared it with them. I had to get broken down to learn the system and to learn the secrets that I know now. I had to get broken down for that to happen to me. But if I would have known that back then, like y'all, it wasn't some of the stuff that I went through, y'all. It was self-inflicted and it was so unnecessary. I thank God that I know it though, because that's how come I can share it with y'all. And there's no reason for y'all to have to go through the struggle, right? There's no reason. There's no reason for y'all to have to be in some of the positions that I was in. Not any at all. So anyway, woo, shoot. Okay, Regina, I don't want to go back though. I ain't going back. I'm telling you that. I'd have been and I'd have came from it and I ain't going back. How about that? Okay. And if I go back, honey, I'm going to have to get dragged, kicking, screaming, clawing, fighting the whole way there. I ain't doing it. I ain't going back. If you want to go back, you can go back. I ain't going back. I ain't going back. No, they can have that. Okay. I don't want to go back. So anyway, just go and check out Wealth Camp. I think y'all will be interested in it. I'm really excited about the program because last year it was 2 days, and the year before it was 2 days. And this year is going to be 4. So we really have time to fit all of this stuff in. Okay. Anybody got any questions, any commentary they want to make? Because I know a lot of y'all got to go to work in the morning. And I know it's real late where y'all are because I didn't even hop on until 11 o'clock my time. So I know that's like midnight for some of y'all. And I know some of y'all is like 5 and 6 in the morning. Right? And some of y'all are up because you're getting ready to head to work right now because y'all are already ahead of me. You quit your job? What are you going to do that you quit your job? Melva, what you doing, Melva, since you quit your job? Thank you, Regina. Yeah, like I gotta make a more conscious effort to talk more about different things like this with y'all. Ooh, that's what's up, Melva. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, Jay, for real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm excited about being a business owner. You should be. You should be. Business ownership is exhilarating, and all of us are crazy. In real life, all of us that are entrepreneurs, we're crazy. We're a special type of country. I mean, a special type of crazy, because when you're a small business owner, there is no longer a safety net. When you work a 9 to 5, even if you have a sick day, you still get a paycheck. Not when you're like us. We are the net. Okay. You are the net. There's no safety net underneath you. And then if you're an entrepreneur, and let's keep it funky. These are some of the things we're going to talk about in Wealth Camp, like how to manage it. If you are the financial provider for your household and you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner, okay? I don't know how to describe the amount of pressure that you feel having to be the source of finances for a whole entire family. And having to run that business, because if you have a misstep, if you don't grind, you don't eat. And it's not only you not eating, your wife not eating, your husband don't eat, your children don't eat. Some of y'all, your mama and your daddy and your brothers and your sisters don't eat. Let's keep it funky, depending on who we taking care of. Some of you, your grandma don't eat, she can't get a medicine. Right? Like it's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of people that crack underneath the pressure. So we're going to be talking about all that kind of stuff and how you deal with it. Like it's a lot. It's entrepreneurship is a wonderful thing. It is. And there's some amazing rewards that we get. Your grandma asked you for corn today. See, there's some amazing rewards that we get as being small business owners and entrepreneurs. But there's a lot of risk. And there's a lot of pressure that we are under, that people who work 9 to 5 jobs are not. And there's a lot of people who work a 9 to 5. They'll tell you, they're like, I don't ever want to own my own business. Some of them will tell you they're down with a side hustle, but they'll be like, I don't ever want to own my own business because of the pressure. Because of the pressure, because you ain't got it. Oh, thank you so much, Extreme Female. You're so kind. Thank you. I'm glad you watched and I'm glad you came back. That makes me happy. Welcome to the kingdom. Welcome to the kingdom, girl. But entrepreneurs, we don't talk about that, right? You never hear us talking about that because nobody ever asks us about that. When you have interviews and you go on podcasts and you're doing print and TV and stuff, everybody just asks you about the success. They ask you about the money. They ask you how you did it. Nobody talks to you about that other side. And so all of y'all run off into your journey, which you should, but not knowing how to manage and how to deal with these other things that are going to come. And all of us that are in it already, we already know. It's definitely worth the struggle, eternal student. And I'll be honest, if you get mentors and coaches and you get you a good support system that's around you, you're not really gonna have to struggle the way that some of us have had to struggle, because you're going to get down that learning curve way faster than the rest of us. You'll get down it way faster. You build so many muscles, okay? So how did you get to the place where you found the money to invest in yourself? Oh, Miss Leslie, I wanted Miss Leslie, I wanted it. Now I'm a firm believer, whenever you want something, you'll make it happen. When I first started investing myself, Leslie, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money, but I made it come. I stopped eating out at lunch. I started going to the beauty school and getting my manicures and my pedicures. I went back to doing my own hair instead of going to the salon. Like I made that money. I found it. And it's amazing because people, we really will spend our money on what we want. I was watching y'all. There's this show that they have on MTV. It's called True Life. I love True Life whenever I can catch it. And there was a set of brothers, and they were addicted to gambling and alcohol. And one of them was in a custody case for his child, right? And they barely had enough money to pay the rent. And he was still willing to take, his brother had to talk him out of it. He was still willing. He was like, we can take $200 of the rent money and go and flip it to $2,000 and everything will be all good. And his brother was like, well, what's really the possibility of that happening? They barely had enough money to pay the rent, and he was willing to take a couple $100s of that rent money and go and spend it on lottery tickets. It was wild, right? But people, and even though he has an addiction, at the end of the day, that's still what he wanted to do, right? And I see people do it all the time, out here out in the club and kicking it and stuff and not paying their bills. And there were definitely some times I was late on my mortgage when I was doing what I was doing, not because I was out clubbing and stuff, but sometimes I had to choose between, do I pay the mortgage on this store, or do I pay the mortgage on, or do I pay my rent? And I was like, well, I'm going to do the store, because in my brain I was thinking, well, if the crap hit the fan, I can live in the back of my store. Real life. That's what I was saying. I was like, crap hit the fan. I was like, I can live in the back of my store and I can still make money with my store. I can't make money from my apartment. That's the mindset that I was in. Like, that's how hungry I was. That's how bad I wanted to succeed. That in real life, that's how badly I wanted to succeed. And I did, and thank God it worked out. And I definitely had some late payments. I had some late car notes, okay? I had some late rents. I had some late credit card bills. I had some late everything, okay? But it would always work out. I'd be able to get out there and hustle. I would be able to get out there and hustle and make it happen, and I would cover those bills up. But that's where I was. So that's how I got the money to invest in myself. And I wasn't as smart back then as I am now. Yeah, I wasn't as smart as I was then, because like the way that y'all can get on Periscope and YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that and pop open a broadcast, and you can find, pretty much somebody that's an expert in anything now, and, learn and watch and hang out and talk to us and stuff like that. This wasn't here 11 years ago. So anytime you wanted any type of mentorship, and you wanted any type of coaching, it literally costs you tens of thousands of dollars back then. Like the way that I have, like, for instance, Instacoin Academy. By the way, Instacoin, y'all, 12-week course to monetize Instagram, it's coming. Like it's less than 3 weeks away. So you might want to get on the wait list. But like that 12-week course to teach you how to monetize Instagram, to go through something like that back in the day when I started, I would have had to pay like $15,000-$16,000 to go through that. And there are still some really high end coaches, right, with big names. Y'all seen their one-on-one programs are like 20,000, 70,000, 100,000, stuff like that. I would have had to pay like 15, 16,000. There wouldn't have been a way to get in a course like that for under $1,000 back in the day. There wouldn't have been courses and classes you could take for $15 and $100 and $97 and $69. It just was not there back then when I was starting. So I think that's come some of us that are on this side now, and we started our business a long time ago, when people are like, oh, I ain't got it. We be like, yes, you do. You got it. You spend it on something else, but we don't have any mercy for y'all, because we literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars developing ourselves and getting the information and the knowledge and having so much trial and error because we really wanted it. And some of y'all, when we meet y'all, we be like, you don't really want it. Now, I'm not saying go and put yourself in debt to get it. Like I said, I wasn't as I'm smarter now, right? I'm wiser now than I was back then. But you cannot go to lunch for a month so you can take a course, and not even necessarily a course with me. It can be a course with somebody else, that you really respond to and that you really like. You can stop going to lunch and use the money to hire a VA. You know what I'm saying? Like you can cut back, because the VA can do research for you while you're at your 9 to 5 every day. And the VA can answer your emails, and the VA, can make strategic partnerships and reach out to people on social media and do your engagement and, help you with your website and your landing pages and setting up your automation, right? If you got a Shopify store, they can be uploading your products and doing the SEO tags, and you know what I mean? Like you can do that. You can do that because it just doesn't cost as much to start a business now as it did back then. Like the whole thing with having to be on radio and TV and print and getting celebrities to endorse your products and stuff and your services now is not necessary. Like it definitely still can help, but because of social media, literally every single person in here has the ability to create their own platform. So you just have to be smart and you have to be strategic about it, but it can be done. And what's crazy is how quickly it can be done now. You just couldn't do stuff that fast back then. It just didn't happen. It just didn't happen like that. And I'm amazed with how many people don't want to take advantage of live streaming, because this is on another level. You should if you can. But yeah, people don't understand. And cause y'all are so afraid of being on this side of the camera, cause you're afraid of the haters and the critique, and y'all won't do it. And I'm telling y'all, it's not gonna be like this forever. Right now with live streaming, this is the closest thing that we're gonna experience for a long time. It's like y'all remember when Facebook popped off way back when? And the people who were smart enough to put themselves on Facebook and get out there and work it in the beginning, because it didn't have all the rules, it didn't have all the stipulations, they hadn't quite figured out the platform right. It wasn't all the way evolved the way it is now. It was kind of like the Wild Wild West. It's kind of like that right now with live streaming. It's still new, right? Live streaming is still really, really new, and you can get first movers advantage. And right now, there's under 2% of the population of active users that will actually live stream. And that's on any social media platform. So especially with Facebook and Instagram and Periscope, it's still relatively new. So you have a really big opportunity to grow your market and your brand and to build up an audience. And as time goes on and progresses though, it's going to become harder and harder. So it's like, why not go ahead and take advantage of it now? So you can build and build and build. But live streaming may not be for you, Tashina, if you're not comfortable in front of the camera. The only thing I can tell you to practice is to honestly get somebody who will practice with you. And if you can't get anybody to practice with you, just turn on your camera on your tablet or your phone and just get yourself used to speaking in front of the camera. Find your best angles, which this is not my best angle right now. You can tell I don't care. I don't care. This ain't it, but find good angles, find good light. You know what I mean? Figure out just whatever it is that you need to get yourself comfortable and get used to speaking out loud with no one being in the room. Hey, as long as you practicing, honey, yeah, and just get yourself comfortable, right? That's the first thing. But if live streaming is not for you, then use Pinterest, right? Use the gram, use Facebook ads, but there's a tremendous opportunity to build right now. And I know it's not going to be like this forever, because that's with anything, right? The people that come in first, those are the people that go and kill it. Everybody that's coming in at the tail end is like womp womp. It's kind of like people getting in on the tail end of Snapchat, and Snapchat had been popping for all these years, and they just figured it out this year. Well, Anointed Flame, I'm going to tell you this. I think that you should get over the fear of live streaming. I really think that you should. I think that everybody should, because it's wonderful. But if you're not a live streaming person, there are other things. That's where Pinterest and Instagram and stuff like that are going to be your friend. But if you will notice, even go look at some of the people on Facebook, like those relationship gurus and stuff, and they have like 1 and 2 million followers and stuff like that. Y'all notice they live stream like almost every day to their audience. Almost every single day they live stream. They're on there saying hey to them. Yeah. I made a video on Periscope today. I had to block a fool and delete my video. Oh, Melba, yeah, the blocktism's a real girl. Give them out. Get them blocktisms out like old ladies giving out peppermints in churches. Give them to the people. But yeah. So, and Melba, I deleted my first broadcast, girl. My first broadcast I did on here was terrible. It was awful, okay? And I said it was awful on the thing. I was like, this is weird. I didn't know what to say. I just pushed the button, and I was like, hey, I'm Ashley Ann. I was like, I'm a event planner. I do interior design. It was some holiday that was coming up, maybe like Labor Day or Memorial Day or something like that. I was like, I know a lot of you guys are having parties. I was like, so this weekend, I'm going to put together some party ideas for y'all. And I was like, I feel crazy because I'm talking out loud to myself and nobody's here. And I was like, this is weird. I was like, but I just wanted to get my first one out of the way. And I was like, bye. My first broadcast wasn't even 5 minutes long. That was literally my first broadcast. It was terrible. It was awful. I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to say. Like, even though I had been stalking and chicken hawking people and researching people and stuff, it's like I froze up and I didn't practice, and I should have practiced before I got on. I didn't try and practice. I literally was just like, here I am. And then I was like, oh, I was like, that was bad. And I deleted it. Yeah, I was like, bye. And it was only like 3 people on the little chat, man. And the 3 people came over because there's this guy. He doesn't broadcast anymore, but I loved him. He had a radio station, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not gonna say he doesn't broadcast. He doesn't broadcast from Periscope anymore. There are a lot of people, when they introduced Facebook Live, a lot of broadcasters here ran away from Periscope and ran over to Facebook. They dropped Facebook like a hot potato and ran over. I've stayed here, and I'm really happy that you can share on Facebook now. But mine is set to share to my personal page. I got to get it changed over so it shares on my business account. So it'll be bomb.com, because then I'll be on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and Periscope all at the same time. But anyway, that doesn't matter. But they left Periscope and went to Facebook. But this guy had a radio station, and it was really dope. You could call in and give prayer requests. And he started praying for people. And that was one of the first broadcasts. I was like, this is really cool. And I hung out in that broadcast. Hey, Rob, what's going on, honey? I hung out in that broadcast for like half an hour. And then that's how I got my first 10 followers. That's how I got my first 10 followers on Periscope, was out of that broadcast. And then I went to some other broadcast. I don't know. I was in somebody else's broadcast for whatever. And I got another 4 or 5 followers. So I had my first 15 followers. and then I made my broadcast because people are like, you should broadcast. And at that time, because y'all Periscope is advancing and moving quickly, but I don't know if any of y'all remember, like back then they didn't even have the fast forward and the rewind. So when you watched the Periscope broadcast, it was just like on Instagram, like you just have to watch the whole thing. You couldn't fast forward, you couldn't rewind it or anything yet. You just had to watch the whole. You just had to watch the whole broadcast. Do y'all remember that? And then you would get mad if somebody called you or something and your broadcast ended because you were in the middle, because then you had to watch the whole thing over again. So anyway, yeah. But I don't think, but that's because when Periscope started, I don't think that Periscope even knew that people were going to use the platform the way that we use it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell y'all, even sometimes with your products and stuff. Sometimes your audience will dictate to you, like you will create a product for one thing, but your audience will say it's going to be for something else. You know, they'll say, but I want to use it in this way. So I don't think that they ever intended Periscope, like the way we've been sitting on here for like over an hour talking. This was not the intent for Periscope when they first started at all. So if you were only popping on for 3 or 4 minutes at a time, then it was no big deal to just watch a whole broadcast, right? And so anyway, so then people started using it for all of this content and sharing their life and cooking and walking around the street. And, you know, they started using it for all these different things, showing protests, showing breaking news, all that other kind of stuff. And so anyway, but there was no fast forward and there was no rewind. There was none of that. Whenever I started broadcasting. So you'd be so mad because a broadcast would, somebody would call you or something and they'd be like, no, I had to watch the whole thing. And this is back in the day, they'd be like, do you want number 4? Do you want tip number 4? I'm only going to tell you tip number 4. We got to get that chat man up to 100. You got to invite and you got to share. If that chat man doesn't get to 100, I'm not going to give you tip number 4. That's what they used to do. Yes. In the broadcast. Now I'll be honest. I miss a little bit when the broadcast disappeared in 24 hours because it created the sense of urgency. Because when your favorite broadcaster popped on, you had to get on because you knew like there was no replay. Like you knew it wasn't, like if there was something you really wanted to catch, you had to get on because you really wanted to see that person. Yes, and then all of us use Catch to save our videos. It's only been a couple of years, Loco. That's what I said. Periscope moves really quickly. And I waited for 6 months. Periscope was around for about 6 months before I started broadcasting on Periscope. My 2-year anniversary is coming up in October for Periscope. I would have been here for 2 years in October. Yeah, they're already at 2 years. Periscope's birthday is in March. I came around like 6 months after. Yeah, you can save them permanently now. I take mine down. If you go and look through my wall, you'll see like I have sporadic ones up, like once or twice a week I'll leave mine up, but the most of mine, I take them down. But I was kind of excited when they start leaving them up. People were celebrities in 2015. They were. And it wasn't that many people to watch. Like that was one thing I regretted. And I've told y'all that before. I wish I would have started broadcasting as soon as Periscope popped off. I didn't know. I waited and I watched and I stalked and I chicken hawked and I tried to notice patterns because that's what I'm good at. God allows me to see systems. So, and I can see processes when other people can't identify them. So I was out there watching, you know, to see what was really making people go, woo, like blow up or whatever. And so, yeah, so it did because there weren't that many people to watch and it was a new tool. So you had like over 2 million people were joining Periscope a day. So now you got the eyes of all of these people, right? Now you got the eyes of all of these people and there was only like 15 broadcasters. It's only like 15, 16 broadcasters, right? So everybody went and they jumped on the Facebook bandwagon. And I'm going to start streaming on Facebook. I tried it a few times last year. If y'all remember, I only did like 6 or 7. It was just a lot for me. And I don't like that big delay that's on Facebook. But now that I can share on Facebook, I'm going to do it. I don't know if the people from Facebook will be able to comment, though. I don't know. But anyway, I will at least share them. I will at least share them on Facebook. So that's what I'll start doing that now. But I'm not going to leave Periscope. And I know some people, they got to pick either or. Yeah, I know some people got to pick either or, but I'm not. I'm just gonna try. So I'll be able to hit Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope all at the same time, and that'll be good for me. Facebook is a battlefield. It is. It is. Yeah, that Facebook delay is real bad. I don't like it at all. Cannot stand it. It's like the worst thing ever. I'm 10 minutes down the conversation and somebody's asking me something about 10 years ago. I have heard of BeLive.com, but I haven't been on it. RTs. I haven't been on it, but I've heard of it. A lot left YouTube in '09 and they realized it was a huge mistake. Yep, Latoya. And I feel like it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, this is the same makeup from this morning. Same makeup from this morning. You following me right now? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't heard of E-Wave, Brittany. I got to check it out. They did. They thought they realized it was a mistake, and I know Periscope is going to get it together. Not that they don't have it together, but they're still transitioning. And right now, Periscope is in the process of trying to figure out how to monetize the platform, and they've got to figure out how to monetize it because y'all got to think about it. And we don't think about it typically when we're using it, but I do from a business aspect. It costs money to create all of this broadband space, right? It costs money, like all of these little hearts, all this bandwidth, that costs money. It costs money to store all of our videos and all of our content. All of that stuff costs money. Well, I'm hoping that's what they're gonna do. I'm hoping that's what they're going to do is have commercials, because this is my thing. If you can use, I know, but the Super Hearts is not the best attempt, but they're starting somewhere. I just feel like this. If you can use Periscope Producer, okay? If you can use Periscope Producer and we can stream phone numbers and prints and scroll stuff across our broadcast on the sides or the tops or the bottoms, I feel like Periscope could cut a deal with the popular broadcasters and stuff, or they could give people the option to monetize. And there could be a little commercial right now where my hand is, like scrolling above me, right? And it could drop down and be there for like 30 seconds or whatever, and then go away and come periodically inside of my broadcast. Or I feel right, or a commercial could show in the middle of the broadcast, and it could show a pause on my side. So I would know that a commercial was going on. Y'all would see the commercial, and then the commercial would drop down and my screen would pop back up and I keep on going. You know, and I know that they're going to figure out how to do that. I know that they're going to figure out how to do it. Right. A constant stream, like a constant ticker, like they have on ESPN and CNN. Even if they have like the little pop-ups, like little dancing stuff or little emojis and stuff like that. I feel like I know that there's a way to do it. I don't know how to do it, but I know that there's a way to do it because there's enough of the technological, pieces that are out there. So I think that once Periscope can do that, I think it'll help a lot. Because I will say this, as Periscope gets more and more popular, I think that they will probably switch our platform, kind of similar. You know how YouTube is set up and you can search YouTube videos and stuff? I think that that'll start probably happening like that and people can archive them and stuff. But I think right now, doing that with the live broadcasters that actually broadcasting, I think that's a good way to monetize, right? Because I know that they have monetization on Facebook, but you can't get it now. But if you were one of the first people and you had a large account, you can make the coins on Facebook. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Y'all are sweet. So anyway, I think it's going to get there. And I think they're working. That's when they started allowing videos for longer than 24 hours. I just assumed that that's the direction they were going in. And I was like, well, maybe they're going to have commercials pop up over the replays, right? And I know Mevi had a monetization program when they were trying to get everything up and off the ground. I don't know what they're still doing with it, but Mevi had a lot of bad delay problems and stuff like that because I tried to stream over there and I just couldn't get with it. But Mevi had a program, and I think it was like if you had more than like 2,000 viewers or something like that, but you got to check when you broadcast it based on the amount of views you got. So yeah. So anyway, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out, and I'm praying for them to figure it out because I love Periscope, and I want Periscope to make money. I want them to make money. Twitter has to make money, right? Facebook has to make money. Instagram has to make money. Like, these platforms have to make money. And so I'm not opposed to it. And I think if they did the ad spend, they could probably do a split. So do like an 80-20 split, and Periscope and whoever would keep like 80%, and then 20% of the ad spend would go to the broadcaster, or 30% would go to the broadcaster, or whatever like that. And I think that would be a win-win. Pinky in the Brain. I used to love Pinky in the Brain. The Pinky in the Brain, brain. Right? Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get myself in the bed because y'all know the deal. Y'all know I always got things to do in the morning. But I love y'all, and thank you for hanging out with me. And I know this was like an unusual form of content for me tonight. But I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Okay, I really do. I hope that you guys and gals enjoyed it. I hope that you found it useful. I want y'all to stay encouraged. I want y'all to keep working towards your goals and towards your dreams. And do not let people who are negative, and people who try and attack you, and people who, try and make fun of you, or because they don't understand you, don't let them stop you. Don't ever be afraid to put yourself out here to the world, because I promise there's a whole bunch of people who are rocking with you. Okay? There's a whole lot of people that are rocking with you, and we just are going to focus on the people who are rocking with us, right? And that way we can keep growing and keep attracting more of that. I love you guys. Everybody that was lighting me up with those super hearts tonight, because I saw a bunch of little sparkly hearts. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Okay? I will be on tomorrow, and we're going to keep talking about Instagram, okay? Love you guys.